It was time to book our next Lightning Lane, so we picked a 4:20 Lightning Lane for the Little Mermaid ride and got in line to go on Web Slingers, which is where we had our next problem. Web Slingers unfortunately broke while we were on it, and our car would not turn to fully face the screen, so we had to play all of the games while our car was sideways. And when we got off the ride, the cast members were great again, and they offered to let us re-ride Web Slingers, which we did choose to do, but now this was the second ride of the day that had broken while we were at California Adventure. The ride did work the second time we went on it, and we had a good time, and by the time we got off Web Slingers, it was time to go and use our Lightning Lane for the Little Mermaid. Unfortunately, by the time that we got over to Little Mermaid after riding Web Slingers twice, it was closed. And the wait times for California Adventure were starting to get out of control. A lot of rides were over 2 hours, and at this point, 3 rides were closed. We took a break from riding rides at that point and grabbed a drink from Mobile Order at Bayside Brews and decided to look at the map and see what we wanted to do next. We were sort of starting to laugh at how funny it was that everything we actually could get Lightning Lane for was seeming to break, and then what we couldn't get Lightning Lane for just had crazy wait times, but we were still trying to have the best day. Once we had our drink, we saw that Incredicoaster was testing ride vehicles again, so we decided to walk over there and just wait. And after waiting for about 30 minutes, Incredicoaster did reopen and we were able to get on the ride. And at this point, we were able to book another Lightning Lane, and we used it to book like an 8:30 p.m. Lightning Lane for Goofy Sky School. And we actually did find a short line to go on Silly Symphony Swings, but while we were on the ride, another guest decided to unbuckle their seatbelt while we were on it, and they had to e-stop the ride while we were mid-air, bring us all the way down, recheck our seatbelts, and then bring us back up to ride again. We did have some good luck after that, though, when we went to walk by the Little Mermaid, and the ride had actually just reopened, and we were able to get right on the ride without having to wait. At this point, it was about 7 o'clock at night, and we actually had a dinner reservation inside the Grand Californian at Hearthstone Lounge, so we went over to check in for that reservation, and then there was our next problem. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the kitchen was actually broken in the Grand Californian, and so they were only able to offer us cold food items for dinner. The cast members were so nice, and they felt so bad, and it totally wasn't their fault, but we knew that if we tried to eat somewhere else for dinner, the lines were going to be crazy because the park was so crowded, so we decided to just have salads and sandwiches for dinner, and it ended up being totally fine. Dinner was actually pretty good, and at this point, we were joking that since we were breaking every ride that day, that we probably wouldn't be able to go on Goofy Sky School, but we actually were successfully able to use our Lightning Lane on that before it was time for World of Color. After Goofy Sky School, we actually did get a great spot to watch World of Color, and the people that we were with loved that show, so that was a highlight of our day. After World of Color, everybody still wanted to ride Guardians of the Galaxy because it was the one ride that we had all wanted to go on since first thing in the morning. And unfortunately, even after World of Color, we still ended up waiting over 2 hours to ride that ride at the end of the day. We did eventually make it onto Guardians though, and we finally walked out of California Adventure at 11 p.m.